Hello, this is the introduction to The Story of Stuff. It's a little documentary that was made in 2007. Hopefully here we have it coming up. And I'm going to ask you to watch it and fill out an outline, a little history about The Story of Stuff. And if we go to the website, you can see all the different movies that she's made, but The Story of Stuff was the first one. And The Story of Stuff in 2000, I remember in 2008 on Earth Day, we actually had a big, huge assembly. Every gym class, all the gym classes came to the auditorium every period, and we showed this movie because we thought that it was a great idea for students to realize this. It goes over a lot of economics and environmental ideas. So if we go through who Annie Leonard is, let's see if it goes all the way up. Here we go. All right, so The Story of Stuff, a cautionary video about America's stuff. This, it's when I watch it now, when I was watching in 2008, I thought it was so innovative, but now I understand it's just like this little drawing, but it has so much important stuff, and it talks about the cycle of human consumption and how it's just linear on one line, and how we're just putting stuff into the system and then just wasting things. So Annie Leonard, she worked for Greenpeace, so you understand where she's coming from. And she says she's an unapologetic activist, which you're going to realize. She also does a lot of research. So this is the host. Now, this was back in 2009, this article was written. So far, 6 million people have viewed this film at its site. So many more have viewed it since then. And I remember how fast it spread, and the wildfire intensity at which it spread when it first came out amongst teachers, my colleagues, my friends, showing their families. But also it wasn't met with total enthusiasm. In Missoula, Montana, the school board actually complained about the anti-capitalist message. And I want you to understand that, because there is a point where she explains about Victor Lebeau. Victor Lebeau was an economist, and a retail analyst. And he talked about how we had to make consumption of goods our way of life and our part of our being and who we are, and we had to identify with going to the store and buying things. So we essentially became who we are was what we had. And it was in the 1950s, they figured out that this is what they had to put into the American head. So the video Story of Stuff also goes over that. And I've asked you, does that feel like anything or does it feel familiar? So this will be your assignment. All right, and all the things I've showed you are embedded in here. The Story of Stuff I will actually put up there, but this is the link to the video. All right. And so here's your assignment. So fill in, I made an outline of the video below, and I want you to fill in next to the italicized sections in the following outline. Don't delete anything, but just make it your answers in a more readable color. It does not have to be this pink. The outline is just a way to help you grasp the important points of the 21-minute video. You may add to the outline as well if I've missed something and you think it's important. So using this video and the outline below, answer the question, basically, what is missing from the linear system of this materials economy? Materials economy, do I have that? This links you to something that just explains the materials economy. But basically, it's how does our stuff, our materials get produced? So for more information on material economy, click here. So basically extraction, getting the raw materials, production, making it, shipping it to this big box store, and going and how we buy it and we take it back to our houses and fill it up. And then what do we do after? Um, there's some important points in the after. All right. So I've put some questions here. If it says who, it's because that's going to be the answer. So extraction people, who, maybe where they are, who they mentioned natural resources exploitation. What are we exploiting? Where are we exploiting it? They say global fisheries, and then the next one they talk about our original forests, what happened to them, and the native people. Why don't they count? They explain why they don't count in the video. Toxics in, toxics out, BFRs. So basically, the italicized version here is what you should be looking for. Here's where we are, consumption. This is where you come in, and they have a person shopping here. This is a very important part because this is what you can change down the line from the beginning, your actions here. So they ask you, what does President Bush say after 9/11? I'm pretty sure I've told you that before. How do you show your consumerism as your primary identity? They talk about that. And this is something new because in 2007, I think we had MySpace. That was our only social media. But this is a new question here for the times. How does social media contribute to the trends in consumerism? To trends in consumerism, because you should be aware that that is it is developed for you. Like, they know what you're doing. Like, the whole fact that if you say something and then all of a sudden an ad comes up in Google, they're listening to you. You Google something on your computer and it comes up on your phone in one of your social medias in the ads. Everything is linked. So they're watching you and they're trying to make you buy. This is what did Victor LeBeau said. That link is to what I just showed you up here. And she goes over it in the video. And then, have you witnessed what he says? Have you witnessed it in your life? This is something incredible. These two ideas, planned obsolescence and perceived obsolescence. I want you to understand these, because if you understand what planned obsolescence is and perceived obsolescence is, you will know what's happening to you. So you're going to look at products differently after you understand what that means. When something breaks, was that supposed to break? Do I have to go buy a new one? Did the company plan for it to break? That I have to go buy a new one now, but I still trust them enough to buy the same product because it was good and it lasted 6 months. And I thought that it's amazing how they understand human psychology and the way they do things in the marketplace. Perceived obsolescence is just that thing where the trends just keep changing and you can't keep up unless you go to the store and you buy something. I've taken on in my life a very classic fashion trend. Everything I have seems to, it's not very trendy. But I feel like that's the way I feel comfortable. I don't have to go to the mall that often and go buying things. But sometimes I do like the trends, like when the whole wingtip eyeliner came out. I tried that. I bought some eyeliners. So it's not totally that I'm against trends. I just want you to understand this idea of perceived obsolescence. And then we've been talking about disposal and recycling of our products. And so I go over some questions there. Remember now, 70 barrels of waste producing our products at the production end. Every 1 barrel you take out to the curb, there were 70 barrels produced way down the line in the beginning. So that's story stuff. That's what I want you to do today and tomorrow, 2 days. Watch the video and fill out this outline. Then some extensions that we're going to do just so you can kind of get an idea. She's made a Story of Stuff project has made a whole bunch of other films. So I want you to watch that and then you can create your own outline. So there's, get my face out of here. I mean, here we have our plastics. Cap and trade is something in the economics world. Microfibers. I think there might be something in here about recycling. The microfibers thing is like the closest thing to clothing. So anyhow, so there's here's the newest one. Who pays for Amazon free shipping? We've talked about microbeads before, and those little tiny beads of plastic. So something else. Now, the thing is, the reason I asked you to go and sign up for WeVideo is because I think you can use this WeVideo instead of making an outline in Google Classroom. You can make a little video, and you can collaborate with somebody else in class. I've been reading about this. Western New York, the school district bought this for us for till the end of the year. So here's a resource that we can use. So I asked you to sign up for WeVideo on Friday. And so in that extension, number 2 of the story of stuff, where I ask you to create your own interactive outline, you can create a video instead of a Google Doc using that, because I know that some of you are more proficient that way. So another thing that she has there is, what kind of change maker are you? There's a change maker quiz. So if you go down a little bit further, that's where I was. I want you to take this. But again, it's going to be in another post, and we want to see what kind of change maker you are. And so therefore you understand yourself a little bit better and how you can help. And we'll have, we'll want to hear from you from in there. And then the third, yes, here. So this is another, you can become, a part of our whole idea is we were going to make a video, what our class does. And so using WeVideo, we can create a short environmental movie on our own. So that would be like your own version. So I put extension 3 here, but I really hope that that works out as well. So miss you guys very much. I hope you're doing well. Let me know how everything's going, and I hope you enjoy Story of Stuff. I think about it all the time. I've watched it more times than I have fingers on my hands and toes on my feet. I've watched it a lot, and every time I catch something different, and it's really good to understand all the concepts within Story of Stuff video. Bye.